Welcome to this explainer. If you've scrolled through social media at all lately, chances are you've bumped into a Mamaearth product. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible rise of this company. We're going to deconstruct the exact playbook that transformed a tiny startup into an absolute behemoth in the Indian beauty space. If you've ever been curious about how modern brands actually scale up in today's hyper-competitive market, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's unpack the data, the strategy, and the real-world execution that made it all happen. Okay, so let's kick things off with the billion-dollar question. How on earth did a company that started out making super niche products for babies manage to conquer the massive, fiercely competitive Indian beauty market? I'll tell you right now, it was no accident. It was a highly calculated, multi-layered strategy. Here is our roadmap for today to figure this out. We'll quickly cover the Mamaearth phenomenon, finding the sweet spot, unpacking the marketing mix, the digital influencer engine, a reality check on strengths, weaknesses, and rivals, and finally, the road ahead. Let's get right into it. Section 1. The Mamaearth phenomenon. From babies to a beauty behemoth. Back in 2016, founders Varun and Ghazal Alag launched the brand with a laser focus on niche, safe baby care products. But here is where their absolute genius kicked in. Their agility. They took that rock-solid trust they had built with incredibly protective new parents, and they rapidly expanded. Suddenly, they're launching adult skincare, hair care, body care, and even cosmetics, totally paving the way for the massive growth we see today. Section 2. Finding the sweet spot. Let's talk about targeting the conscious consumer. You know, everything for this brand really revolves around one simple yet incredibly powerful positioning statement: goodness inside. It literally tells the consumer everything they need to know right off the bat. The products are natural, toxin-free, eco-friendly, and safe. In a market that was historically just packed with harsh chemicals, this level of transparency was a total breath of fresh air. They knew exactly who they were talking to. They didn't just target standard demographics like millennials, Gen Z, or young mothers. They were going after a very specific mindset. We're talking about middle to upper middle income families who are highly health conscious, environmentally aware, and already super active online. They pinpointed their early adopters flawlessly. Basically, if you were out there searching for organic labels, you were right in their crosshairs. Section 3. Unpacking the marketing mix. Let's decode the 4 Ps. When you look at their strategy through the lens of the classic 4 Ps, it's a brilliant ecosystem. For the product, it's dermatologically tested, cruelty-free, and wrapped in eco-conscious packaging. For price, they hit this perfect sweet spot of affordable premium. It feels high-end, but things like combos and subscriptions make it super accessible. Place is all about an omni-channel approach, meaning you can find them seamlessly on their website, Amazon, Nykaa, or right at your local pharmacy. And finally, promotion. They rely on a massive digital engine and cause-based marketing, like their famous tree planting initiatives, which perfectly aligns with what their audience actually cares about. Their distribution strategy was so incredibly calculated, they absolutely did not try to be everywhere on day one. Step 1 was strictly direct-to-consumer, right from their own website, which kept overhead low and let them collect a ton of customer data. Step 2, they aggressively hit e-commerce giants like Amazon, Nykaa, and Flipkart to grab that existing search traffic. It was only after dominating the digital world that they moved to Step 3, scaling into physical retail and local pharmacies. They completely bypassed the traditional roadblocks of getting shelf space early on. Section 4, the digital influencer engine. How to actually build trust online. Instead of just throwing money at traditional billboards or TV spots, they built a massive, diverse army of content creators. And it wasn't just beauty gurus. They strategically brought in parenting bloggers to anchor that core trust, lifestyle creators for mass appeal, and crucially, dermatologists to give them real clinical credibility. It's this giant web of influence designed to literally meet consumers wherever they happen to be scrolling. The payoff for all those hyper-localized, personalized campaigns? High consumer trust, crazy levels of engagement through user-generated reviews, and massive brand visibility. By tapping into the existing loyal audiences of these creators, Mamaearth practically bought trust overnight. They turned their customers into their absolute loudest marketing channel. If you've ever bought a shampoo just because a lifestyle vlogger recommended it, well, you've experienced this firsthand. Section 5. Strengths, weaknesses, and rivals. Time for the reality check. Because hey, no brand is invincible, right? This SWOT analysis gives us a clear look at where they actually stand. Yes, their strong digital presence and trusted natural positioning are clear, undeniable strengths, opening up massive opportunities for rural expansion and premium skincare growth. But there's a glaring weakness here. They are heavily dependent on ad spend to keep the whole engine running. Plus, that affordable premium pricing can still be pretty tough against cheaper, local alternatives. Add in the threats of rising competition, shifting consumer preferences, and brutal price wars, and you've got a pretty vulnerable landscape. And they definitely aren't fighting in a vacuum. They're going head-to-head with absolute domestic giants like Hindustan Unilever, battling legacy names like Lakme and Dove. But at the exact same time, they have to fend off these super agile digital startups like Minimalist and Wow Skin Science, along with established natural brands like Biotique and The Body Shop. It is literally a multi-front war for your attention and your wallet. The entire battle in India's beauty market really boils down to this clash of two opposing forces. On one side, you have Mamaearth with their digital-first agility, influencer dominance, and lightning-fast product innovation. On the other side, you've got traditional retailers with massive physical scale, deep legacy brand loyalty, and heavily established physical distribution networks. It is the ultimate showdown: digital speed versus sheer physical mass. Section 6. The road ahead. What's next for the brand? To keep this crazy momentum going, the source material suggests a really crucial strategic pivot is needed. With the beauty sector getting more crowded by the minute, Mamaearth has to figure out how to maintain profitability while still feeding that massive marketing machine. They have to balance their fast product launches with the very unsexy reality of managing physical retail inventory. Going forward, expect to see them double down on their core categories and tighten their marketing efficiency while aggressively executing a much stronger offline retail strategy to survive the long game. I want to leave you with a thought to chew on as we wrap up this explainer. Mamaearth absolutely wrote the playbook on scaling through influencers and digital channels. But as the market gets way more crowded, consumer preferences evolve, and ad costs continue to skyrocket, is a digital-first strategy really enough to build long-term generational loyalty? Or is the ultimate battleground for beauty dominance still fought and won on the physical store shelf? It's a fascinating question for sure. Watching how this brand navigates the future is going to be a masterclass for any business observer. Thanks for joining me to decode this playbook, and always keep asking why behind the brands you see every single day.